It's important for us to pray. In St. Luke's Gospel, chapter 18, from verse 1, the Bible says, "And he spake a parable unto them to this end." Jesus spake a parable to his disciples to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. Let's read from the Amplified Translation. Also, Jesus told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not to turn coward, not to faint, lose heart, and give up. He don't want us to be cowards. And we shouldn't lose heart. We shouldn't be discouraged. We shouldn't give up. He doesn't want us to give in either. And then he went on to give that parable, which you can read in the verses that follow. In Ephesians chapter 6, from verse 12, see what the Bible says. "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Make no mistakes about it. Life is not about your everyday challenges at work or with your neighbors or with some people who don't like you. It's far more serious than that. It's telling you that the human beings that you see are not the problem. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world." Rulers of darkness. Against spiritual wickedness in high places. They control the evils in the world. They motivate men to do the things that they do. And in the scriptures, we are taught how to pray effectively. And deal with life's situations. It tells us, if you go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10 from verse 3. "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." In other words, though we live in the human body, our war is not according to the flesh. Look at verse 4. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." They're not man-made. And they're not of mere human understanding. The weapons of our warfare. So there is a warfare. And we're given weapons to fight that war. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God." They operate through God to the pulling down of strongholds, to the pulling down of strongholds. Doesn't matter what kind of strongholds built by Satan, whether they be intellectual strongholds, mental strongholds, political strongholds, scientific strongholds, medical strongholds. It doesn't matter. It says we have weapons that are well designed for the challenges that confront us. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. In 1 Timothy chapter 1, from verse 18, it says here, this charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy. This was Paul writing to Timothy, a young minister. According to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare. He was writing to Timothy and letting him know how to war a good warfare.